All right, y'all, this is episode 7, Shop Talk, Entrepreneur.
Yep.
We are back with probably what's going to be our most impactful episode to date. And it's not going to be around Gabe's incredible outfit. Let's talk about this first.
Yeah, so
man. Let's jump into it.
First we gotta do the fit check, man. I'm rocking the. I usually start from the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. I'm rocking the Lamb Talk, man. Our polo company. I'll be honest with you, man.
Before you go there, man, I don't like it when you say you usually start from the bottom, man. You could just start excluding that.
And just go right to it.
Yeah.
So check it out, man. I went from stealing polos, man, to owning my own polo company.
Yes, sir.
Where they do that at?
Come on.
Right? So we got the Lamb Talk polo, got the plaid trousers on, man. Got the stand socks.
Trousers?
Yeah, trousers,
yeah.
man. These trousers. Then, I had to go with, I got sucked into buying another pair of John Geigers, man. It's the Valentine edition right here.
Yeah, man. Whenever you get into a mode with a pair of shoes that you like, which I put you on, by the way, you'll go and buy, 32 pair, man. I watched this man buy 52 pair of New Balances
in a short time.
In 6 months.
Yeah, well, I find a good shoe, I like it, and I stick to it.
Yeah, those are hard, though. Them probably my favorite that I've seen you wear, man.
Yeah, these
Just
five.
The stain and the dye in those is pretty.
Yeah, these five. So let's get to you now, man. You got some new joints on, man, from our brand. So let's talk about your fit check.
Doing something like, man, this is what I call the Southie. This that South Beach, man, classic, man. Everybody got this one right here. If you ain't got this one,
we've sold thousands of those hats. They sell out every time and come back.
Yeah. Then I got on this a new drop. Glory to God, Art of Homage. Graffiti joint, man. The back got the graffiti style paint dripping off of it, man. It's something different, man. Paint dripping like it's candy, man. Just like candy.
Just like candy.
Come on. All right, y'all. So let's jump into it, man.
Yeah.
Episode 7, man. Want to talk about something that has prevented a lot of talented people from going to the level that they can actually get to.
Yeah.
And so talking on the phone to a lot of brand owners, they want to know, what is it that I can get from somebody who's got to 20 million plus in sales? How am I supposed to take that in? Because I'm not even getting any sales right now.
Yeah.
How do I get to that level if I've never experienced it before?
Yeah.
And so basically what I saw inside of that question is a lot of people don't know how to get past their trauma or their experiences to experience the triumph that's on the other side of everything that we've been through.
Man, that's good.
So I wanna dive into that, man, because there is triumph once you learn how to get past your trauma.
Yeah, man, bro. So one day we were out having dinner one night, and I know you remember this. I'm driving in the car. I'm in the El Camino. I'm in the El Dog.
Yeah.
And you're driving behind me, but I left before you. And I see this 18-wheeler on fire. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember this night.
And I'm looking, I'm seeing all of these cars on the highway. And I get out the car, and it's people spread it out in different areas. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah.
And I remember hitting you and saying, hey, Tim, bro, I just pulled over. There's this bad wreck, man. We got to help these people. We got to help.
Yeah.
And you pull up, and we get out. And we're trying to figure out, man, how do we help as many people as we can? I remember a little kid saying, sir, where's my mommy? Where's my mommy? And we see my mom's already gone. She passed. And it was a bad situation. But when I think about that, man, it's like sometimes the trauma that we experience in our personal lives is not even our fault.
Right.
But it's part of who we are now.
Facts.
And so now we have to be able to overcome the perspective of the things that happened to us, even when we didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
And so even in our own personal lives, man, for you and I both, things that we've experienced growing up as children to adults and being able to build a brand, man, it takes a certain type of person, and it takes getting past your own barriers, man, just to be able to take this idea, do the right things with this idea, and turn it into a global company.
Yeah.
But this episode is about you being able to do that very thing, regardless of what your experiences are.
Yeah, you have to develop a strong internal language when disruption comes.
I love when you talk about the eternal language, bro. That's really good.
Yeah, man, because disruption always follows intent. And anytime you get ready to build something that's amazing, there's going to be something that disrupts you. And some of that can cause triggers to put you back in the mindset of the trauma that you've been to, which then makes you shrink back to your comfort zone of like not moving forward and making progress.
Right.
And so it's very important for you to develop that internal language that says like, you are going to get through this space. You are going to build a multi-million-dollar business. You are capable of doing the things that you desire to do, but you can't do it if every time disruption comes, you shrink back down to the person, the little boy that remembers what was said or done to him when he was in 9th grade.
Remember that poem I wrote called The Kid and the King?
Oh, man.
You can't allow the kid in you to kill the king in you.
Yeah.
And it's those things right there. That little boy or that little girl like start speaking again and you want to have a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
But the little boy or the little girl in you cannot put you in position to conquer the things that you need to conquer to have that business.
Yeah.
Like we talk about this all the time with our clients. Like you can't rebrand a brand without rebranding yourself.
Right.
And it has everything to do with perspective. It has to do with mentality, right? And being able to see past, the things that has transpired in your life.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest shifts, I think, for us, realizing that personal impacts professional.
Yeah.
When you keep that golden nugget right there just on the forefront of your mind, like how you handle things personally is going to impact your business.
Facts.
So even like speaking on things like money, you were better at money than I was.
Yeah.
And so, so you being the one just working through what we're doing with the monies would have been better for our company, right? Now imagine if I was over all the money.
Be a little different story, man.
It'd be a little different because personal always impacts professional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'll never forget the moment. Remember back in college, I was getting ready to drop the first album.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm going to just put them in my backpack and, try to sell them on campus.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, man, we're going to do an album release party. I just remember like the anxiety in me of like, oh, I got to get up in front of people and try to rap this stuff. It was a different level, but like pushing through that was something that helped us get to a different space in life.
Like, your own trauma couldn't even let you see your potential for success.
Yeah.
And that's the type of things that happen, man. Like, it literally weighs us down.
Yeah.
And so what that does is it creates this fear of failing, and it creates even a bigger fear of winning.
Facts.
What if this actually works?
Yeah.
What do I do? What do I do now?
Yeah.
What do I do with the people that I have around me now that I've become the one to build something at a very high level? Like trauma, it really brings about this fear, man, and we start moving on that thing.
Man, you could take two kids that went through the same situation, and one of them uses the trauma growing up as an excuse and a crutch to stay where they are and why they haven't succeeded. And then one can use it to say, I never want to be like this again, and use it to propel them to succeed at a high level. And you be like, man, like, what is it? What's the difference between the one who uses it for their good and the other one who uses it as an excuse to stay where they are?
Man,
like, what's the difference between the two?
Yeah, it goes back to something I said earlier. It's perspective, and then just simply being aware of what it's doing.
Yeah,
bruh. True story. For us, with where we went through this space in this season where we thought we were going to be doing music, and we were doing had CDs and spoken word. I had a book. You had multiple albums.
8 years, bro.
We had doing like 40 events a year. We were doing our thing.
Yeah,
and it went from that to 3 years of nothing.
yeah.
And I remember I quit the group.
I remember you quit, man. You was David Ruffin.
I'm out of here. Hey, unplug these microphones, man. I'm tired. I ain't doing it no more.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, you go from, I know exactly what my purpose is. And some of you may be like this. Like, this is my purpose, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So what do you do now? Now, all of a sudden, the thing that was your purpose becomes a traumatic experience for you.
Facts.
And so we just went through this season of just like, man, just being down and creative and,
bro.
And,
there was a pivotal moment when we started AOH that first week when we sold 5 hats, 4 was to family.
Yeah.
Well, we was like, man, we not doing this all over again.
No, sir.
Because I remember what it felt like for those last 3 years when you really passionate about something and that thing doesn't work and you're not able to do what you dreamed of doing for a very long time.
That feeling is different.
And you're like, man, here we go again. At that pivotal moment, you can develop language that says, okay, I'm quitting, or you can use language that puts gas on the fire.
There you go.
And so for us, we were like, hey, we're going to give this 6 months of everything we got. If it don't work after that, at least we know we put all our chips on the table and went all in with it. And so sometimes those moments that you deal with that are traumatic, they require you to go in a little deeper to say, you know what? Nah, I'm going after this. I'm going all in. I'm pushing everything in. I'm going to like cut out everything and get really laser focused on what I'm doing. And like, you'll be surprised what your life looks like on the other side of pressing through anxiety, pressing through fear, pressing through situations that you felt like you couldn't get through.
Come on, Counselor Pastor Tim.
Yeah.
You're on the council committee now.
Yeah.
You want to know, you talked about what happens with those 2 different types of people. You want to know one of the small traumatic things that pushed me to get better at creating content for our businesses?
What's that?
Seeing oil in the parking lots.
Come on, provide some context, brother.
Okay. Well, there's a difference between a Target and a Walmart parking lot.
Uh-huh.
My mom used to drive this busted Cadillac.
Yeah.
It was 6 of us. We were in a 1.5 bedroom duplex on the south side. And my mom used to do nails. This is before Instagram and social made it popular for a woman to be a nail tech.
Yeah.
She would drive to another area that was in Colleyville. Colleyville out here in the city. That's a little more prestigious. But the clients over there, upper crust.
Yeah.
So they didn't live like we lived, right? So she would drive from this situation, drive there for a better opportunity. But that car used to leak so much oil, man. And she would park it in the back of the parking lot or somewhere else and walk around. It's my mama doing this, right? And she would do that because she was just embarrassed of messing up the parking lot because of her situation.
Yeah.
Bruh, true story. I never wanted that to be the situation going forward for me, for my children, my family, my siblings, my friends, because what that does is when you can only see one thing, it tells you that you can't do it.
Yeah.
And it tells you that this is the way life is always going to be.
Yeah.
And what we were able to do was push past the situations and use that as motivation to impact not just our lives, but impact people's lives globally.
Facts.
And we're not the only ones that can do that, though.
Facts, man. One of my earlier moments was, I just remember this, bro. Like, growing up, whole bunch of people lived in this little shack that my grandmother's dad's dad had built. Like, this was a old house. It was sliding downhill. This is where we was raised at. But like, I just remember,
I know where you're going.
I remember hating it when it rained because we had these 5-gallon buckets that I don't care if it started raining in the middle of your sleep at night, the rain would just pour down through the house. So we would have to move the beds around, put the buckets down, so that we wouldn't get wet sleeping at night.
See, these are the parts you don't see. You see us doing 20+ million in revenue, but you don't see Tim, dodging water when it rains now today.
Dodging water? Come on, man, that's strong.
Do you got an umbrella?
And then one Christmas I asked for a weight set. And I had this weight set in the room, man, and you could just hear the water hitting off
the weights.
Click, 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 hitting off the weights, man. But the weights shouldn't have been in the house anyway because the floor was just uneven. It was sagging. It was a lot going on in the house.
You know why I'm hurt? Because all I can see is the weights being rusted out.
Yeah, it was a lot.
More trauma.
It was a lot going on, man. But I could think of situations growing up from younger to adolescence, to getting to
Yeah.
college, where it felt like it was always something working against you.
Yeah.
I remember the old Cutlass, the 85 Cutlass.
85.
It was a dope car.
Yes, sir.
So I don't care how many Bibles was in my backpack. Used to get stopped by the police all the time.
Yeah.
Like looking through my Bibles, ripping through pages. I'm like, man, you're not going to find no crack. You ain't going to find nothing in these bags, man. I used to get stopped in that 85 all the time.
That was all the way. You're not going to find no crack, brother.
It was a lot, bro. I remember getting stopped. With my cousin.
Yeah.
You know, smartest crackhead I ever knew.
Oh,
With
You're doubling down on the crack now.
Would show you how to smoke crack and tell you about what happened in the bicentennial year all in one sentence.
The third crack mention, by the way.
Things ain't never been the same.
Since crack came. God.
And so he was in the car with me, well known in this little town of 13,000 people. And the one day I picked him up out the side of the road to take him where he going, he didn't put his
Police
seatbelt
pulled you
on.
over.
Police pulled me over and gave me a ticket.
Did
man.
you have crack on you?
That was not on him or me. But it was just the fact that they was stopping me again. So I had, needless to say, man, that's when I got the Cougar, man, with the doors falling off. Because the 85, I was getting stopped in it all the time.
That Cougar, I probably, every time I think about that Cougar, I think about the doors falling off at the church parking lot.
Yeah.
Dang it, man.
But I say all that to say, like, everything that we went through made us who we are today.
Yeah.
Some people use that everything that I've been through is why I haven't succeeded in life.
For sure.
And like, you got to be the one to choose. Like, are you going to allow every circumstance that you go through to hinder you from growing? Or are you going to be the person that pushes past it and pushes through it?
Yeah, man.
Because at some point, like when you build that muscle of getting through more and more things, it gets easier on the other side. I was sharing in the email the other day, man, Psalms 23, man, it says he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
Yeah, come on. Big
How you eat good in the presence of your enemies?
Big preacher.
Your trials.
Big preacher.
Everything that you're going through. How you eat good through?
Yes, sir.
Because you done been through enough to know that he gonna keep getting me through everything that I'm going through in life.
Yeah, I love
and
it.
so a lot of things in regards to your business ain't that you don't have a great idea, ain't that you don't have the talent, ain't that it's not good enough. It's just ain't.
I love that you
feel
keep
me?
saying, hey.
It's just that you haven't figured out like the actions you need to be taking through your trauma is what's gonna get you to the other side of it.
Yeah, and we know for a fact, again, like we said, you know, personal impacts professional.
Yeah.
And so some of us need more help than others.
Yeah.
And some of us just need to be like, really just know that you can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like your effort is impacted by your belief.
Yeah.
And if you have a limiting beliefs about what you're able to do.
Stay there for a second. Your effort impacts your belief.
Yeah, absolutely.
I say it all the time, man. When you consistently make the efforts, you put yourself in a position to look back and see an undeniable stack of effort that's moving you forward.
If you don't believe, though, you won't do it.
You won't do it.
I heard a guy, you know, just talk about, like, you know, he's talking about his grandson being lazy. It's like, man, you get $1 million if you just walk right there a couple of feet away and just pick up this bread. No, he said that he would starve unless he walked by to pick up the bread, but it's just a couple of feet away. But said that he would die right there before the bread. Didn't have the effort.
Yeah.
But most of the time with us, with our business and in personal life, is really impacted by if we even believe or not.
Yeah.
So when we had this idea with this hat and with the, you know, we didn't know much about design or building a company.
Right.
I didn't know much about creating content when I went out and bought the camera.
Yeah.
But we believed.
But check this out. Think about this along the way. Okay. Hey, man, I want to make a hat. Well, man, I don't know nobody that can help me do that. Mm-hmm. That could have been the language, or it's like, okay, let me get online and figure this out.
Yeah.
Who's a good person to do this? Man, well, I got this idea. I don't know how to design it. Well, man, I could either get Photoshop or I can not do it.
Right, yeah.
Oh, man, every time I'm working on this design, this MacBook crash, I could just quit right here.
You got excuses for your excuses. And it all comes from your limiting belief, which is probably stemming back to trauma.
Yeah. But there's going to be something that comes up in every step along the way.
Right.
Like it's stuff that's still coming up with us right now.
Absolutely.
Right? You like,
Yeah.
okay, this year the tax bill was 22,000. Yeah. Next year maybe 30,000.
22.
What you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna complain about it? You gonna quit, or you gonna keep going?
Yeah.
Like, there's all kinds of stuff that's coming up. Are you gonna allow your internal language and the things that you've experienced in the past to stop you? Because if we did, we would have experienced the pain that we went through with trying to pursue a business day in and day out for 8 years,
Yeah.
and that business not working. We could have said, man, I don't like that pain. I'm never gonna try doing another business again.
It's real.
But you can't be that way. You have to keep pushing because your experiences don't dictate your future.
I love that, man. And so I think just a shift in terms of just some like actionable steps and things that we can do.
Yeah.
Because these are real things that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Right. And so whether that be talking with a professional counselor,
Yeah.
and getting involved in the right community with people who are building.
That's good,
Like
Gabe.
we tell clients all the time, bro, like I don't care about your brand more than I care about you.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I know if you grow, your brand is going to grow.
Yeah.
Right? That part is important to us. So making sure that you have a circle of other people who are pushing you, like propelling you to go forward.
Yeah.
Not anchors that's holding you down and keeping you from moving around. Like some people that we have around us, man, they love our trauma.
Yeah.
Here's why they love our trauma. Because they love the person that we became in it. And they don't want to see us grow and be anything more, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to think about the circles that you're in and around, because it's not just about you. It's about everything else that you want to change in life, man. Other people that you want to be impacted, by, your growth and development. So, man, this is a good one.
Big bars.
Yeah, big bars.
Big
today.
bars,
big
man.
Bars.
Good stuff, man. Episode 7, Triumph Through Trauma.
Yes,
This
sir.
one could be about an hour and a half because
Yeah,
there's
we
so
can
much
keep
to
going.
share.
It's
but
so much
We'll
to-
have to
yeah.
break it down in some other
I won't
episodes.
say a lot. Let me go on and just.
But I want to encourage y'all. Yeah, I see.
I wanted to do something different with my socks, but I just said, I'm just gonna throw these on today.
Yeah. I see.
Yes, sir.
If you wanna get past your trauma, man, start with the socks.
yeah, true story. I'm a sock guy.
See, you gotta put socks on to put one step in front of the other. All right, y'all. We love
What?
y'all. This is episode 7, man.
Good Lord, man.
Shout out to Gabe and his plaid pants and socks and
Man,
goggles, man, and the lamb top feet.
Yeah, man. I'm polo today. Again, went from stealing polos,
Yeah.
running across the highways,
Yeah.
to owning a polo.
That man kept you safe on them highways and byways. All right, y'all.
Lord.
We out.